everyone. Welcome. Marnie's with me. Look, hey, we're gonna do the creepy hands tonight. Cheryl, how are you doing? So we got the creepy hands here. Marnie's going to tell a creepy story, and I got more creepy stories to tell later on. But hope everyone's had a good start to their week. Hey, Mom. Um, Hump day, middle of the week. Like I say, I hope everyone's had a good start. And here comes our wonderful dog. One of our wonderful dogs, Leah. Um, so gonna like I say, have creepy stories tonight. I got did some investigations this week already. Want to talk about them? Got the ghost? Oh, you're moving the ghost. Okay. Marnie's moving the ghost. We'll put it back up in a minute. Um, we're doing good, Cheryl. Um, so I did go up to Helen's Bridge today, so I'll talk about that later on. And so if you follow me on X, you'll see what I put up earlier. And that was a creepy day. Marnie missed out on that one.
I might still be running.
It was a very creepy day, and I haven't been up there it's been almost a year, I guess.
There's always like half the time there was something going on up there. Like
Hmm.
the people that live there banned it,
Yeah,
and then the city banned it.
I mean, just everybody. Hey, Buck. So I mean, everything that could happen today happened, and that place is just a creepy, creepy place. But like I say, it's been close to a year since I went up there and filmed. It's a little harder to go up there now and film like it used to be. So, AD, how are you? I just kind of felt like it was just a little overwhelming today, and it felt odd. The thing with Helen's Bridge today, it felt like it was just a whole different place. I mean, if you were there, your Marnie, you'd understand. I mean, it's just it. It didn't feel like Helen's Bridge. It felt like a whole different universe up there. It was weird today. I don't know if it's because I've not been up there in a while, or if it's just a lot has been going on, but it has been wild. You want to tell your story in a minute? Marnie's got a real cool, creepy story, and she got a pumpkin over here. It's jack o'
Yeah,
lantern.
it goes along with the story.
It is. I showed her
Hey,
earlier.
AD. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Buck. Hey, Debbie. I hope I
Um,
said hey to everybody.
I think you got everybody. Yeah. Um, but as a story I sent to Marnie earlier that I heard, and she said, "Oh," and so she wanted to tell it. So, and I got. We'll get into those too. Hey, sis.
Hey, Cecilia.
Um, and we're going to let Marnie start with her. So we're going to roll around each other here. So
Roll around. Okay.
roll
Wait,
around.
wait,
You
wait.
got dog
Okay.
behind me.
Yeah.
Come here. All right, I want to go this way. You go right here.
This is funny.
Um,
Hey, Bud Files.
hey, bud.
Okay, so this is weird. I've only done this like
Just
one
get a
time.
little
It was
closer.
like 30 seconds the other day. Okay. All right, I'm gonna be looking down at my phone. Okay. Do you guys have a pumpkin?
Oh, thank you, sure. We're glad to have everybody here tonight. We do appreciate it.
Tell me if you have a pumpkin or if you plan to get a pumpkin for Halloween or just for fall in general. We do have a pumpkin, but we didn't carve our pumpkin. I painted it, and it's a little much.
Well, it's patriotic.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, tell us in the comments if you have a pumpkin while I start reading this. All right. So here in the States, you guys know we call them jack-o'-lanterns. So I'm going to tell you why. There is an Irish legend that tells us why they're called jack-o'-lanterns. So it's about a man named Stingy Jack. Well, since dinner time, when we were talking about this thing, I called him
Oh,
Stinky Jack.
yeah.
So
You kind of sticky kind of guy.
if I mess up, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm sorry. So Stingy Jack. Oh wow, Cheryl has four. I want four, but every time we see him, it just doesn't work out. So anyway, All right. So this is it appeared first in the 19th century as like in print. So this story's probably been around for a long time. So Stingy Jack invited the devil to have a drink with him one night. True to his name, Stingy Jack didn't want to pay for his drink. So he convinced the devil to turn himself into a coin that Jack could use to buy their drinks. Once the devil did so, Jack decided to keep the money and put it into his pocket next to a silver cross, which prevented the devil from changing back into his original form. So Jack eventually freed the devil under the condition that he would not bother Jack for 1 year and that Jack should die. He would not claim his soul. Wow. The next year, Jack again tricked the devil into climbing into a tree to pick a piece of fruit. While he was up in the tree, Jack carved a sign of the cross into the tree's bark so that the devil could not come down until the devil promised Jack not to bother him for 10 more years. Soon after, Jack died. Wonder what happened. I'd love to hear part of that. Yeah. As the legend goes, God would not allow such an unsavory figure into heaven. The devil, upset by the trick Jack had played on him and keeping his word not to claim his soul, would not allow Jack into hell. He sent Jack off into the dark night with only a burning coal to light his way. Jack put the coal into the carved out turnip and has been roaming the earth with it ever since. The Irish began to refer to this ghostly figure as Jack of the Lantern, and then simply Jack o' Lantern. Let's see. So yeah, that's about it. It goes on to say it went from like Ireland to Scotland and stuff. So anyway, we have it here in the U.S. and we put lights like I did in our little jack o' lantern. That's actually ceramic. It's not a pumpkin, but yeah. Yeah, he sent Jack off, AD. Cool.
All right, you got it.
I got it. All right.
Okay.
You guys got it. I hope you enjoyed the story. So now you know
The rest.
the rest of my story. Yeah. Okay, let me get my water. You guys have a fun night doing what you're gonna do. There's my water. Don't forget, this is a real candle. It's not a flashlight.
Okay, yeah, I know. I'll get it. All right, so back to me. You mind shutting that, please? Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So yeah, Jack, Jack off. Yeah, okay. We know where AD went with that. Yeah, that was I actually heard that story on, I think it was TikTok earlier, and I sent it to Marnie, and I said, I think you should do this story tonight, and she was, yeah, let's do it. So that one was fun. I got some more I want to. They're very short stories, and we'll get into that in just a second. Let me get readjusted here and going. Okay. Let me switch over here to where I can read the comments because I'm going to be off side. All right. Okay, now I can. Oh crap! I want to drop everything. Okay, so the next stories. Yeah, I am. I know, AD. We all have we all have places we go. Our minds are usually a place that goes there with. I like this thing. Okay, I like that ghost. Oh crap! I want to tear everything up. Okay, so these are from Reader's Digest, which I think a lot of people remember the Reader's Digest, and it's got some like the real short stories. So I want to do one right now, and we'll talk about it a little bit. And I kind of got an idea about what I think about this story, and I'll let you all share as well. Rain and PPR, how y'all doing? Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. Okay, this is the Architect's Key. There was a man named Edward who designed and built his own perfect house. He lived in it for many years until he eventually passed away. A new family moved in, but whenever they went into the basement where Edward's personal study had been, they would get the feeling that someone was watching them. One day, the father of the new family decided to fix up an old jacket, which every tailor in town had told him was beyond repair. So he went down to the old study, laid the jacket on the chair, and then tried to see if there was any thing in that old desk that could help him mend it. But the drawers were locked, and he couldn't find a key anywhere. The next morning, he went back downstairs, and he found the key on the desk. Drawers were unlocked, and the jacket was completely fixed. Um, that was like I say, it's a short story, and I got a couple of theories on that. Now, it could have been a spirit that done it, right? Possibly. I'm gonna rule that out 100%. Of course, this was a family, so it could have been the wife that went down there, played a little joke on him, fixed his jacket for him, unlocked everything, put the key on it. I mean, it could have been anything. It doesn't go into a long story, but it's one of those things where I'm like, could have been something. It could have been the wife, or then again, it could have been a spirit. I don't know what you all think. Comment. Let me know what you think about that story. Um, so I hope, yeah, everybody's having a great night. My mom's getting words in her Ghost Tool app. That's what I was thinking, Cheryl. You never know. I mean, it could have been something where now if she can convince him or anybody, maybe the kids, I don't know how the kids were, is it a family? So if they had kids, I mean, were they old enough to figure that out too? Maybe. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, that's what I would, I'm just saying it could have been the wife playing a joke on it, possibly so. But if it wasn't, did that old man who had that study down there that died, was he the one that fixed that jacket? I mean, who knows? Hard to tell. Hard to tell. All right, so let's get to the next story real quick. Um, let's see. This thing scrolls for a minute. Okay, the ghost in the hall is the next one. Uh, I might skip around. There's like 20 stories, so I'll skip around to some of these. But um, okay, 4 young women moved into an old New England apartment together. The type that squeaky floorboards, the long dark hallways, and all that. A month after they moved in, one of their roommates realized that her favorite stuffed teddy bear was missing. The others all said they hadn't touched it, they hadn't seen it for weeks. Weeks then did go on by, and she almost forgot about her teddy bear. Something strange happened, though. She opened the door to one of her closets they had hardly ever used, and there on the top shelf said a furry friend. All her roommates swore they had no idea how it happened. They had nothing to do with it. Now, whenever the teddy bear goes missing for a few days, she knows exactly where to find it. Their apartment probably had all these signs of being haunted in the first place. That was the thing that triggered them. So that's the end of that little story. Now, could it have been the friends that was doing something to her? Again, it's a possibility. Um, it's one of those deals where, like the first story, could it be a haunted situation? Maybe, maybe not. But either way, it could have been friends that were doing that to her. Excuse me. Um, yep, yep. See, Cheryl's like me. I mean, it's just like, you might have that one friend that just likes to play pranks. That's what I like about these stories because it could be either way. It could go either way for sure. Yeah, it's still creepy though. Could you imagine if her friends were not playing a joke on her front, like like they were swearing up now they didn't. and something. I mean, we hear stories like this sometimes. I mean, even in here in this house, there's been times we can't find something. Do we misplace it, or did something move it? And that happens. So I know what that's like. Um, you think you put it somewhere and somewhere else, and it's like, did I actually put that over here instead? Or and sometimes Marnie or I ask, did you move, her glasses or TV remote or whatever it is, and it's somewhere we didn't think it would be. So those things happen here too, and so we don't really play pranks on each other like that. So when it does happen, it's like very believable in this house gremlins. Yep, that's it. Yeah, AD would do something like that, I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised. All right. Next story. Echoes of the past. A young bachelor at the beginning of his career became very successful very quickly. So he bought himself a house. One morning, he woke up to the sound of running water. He rushed to the bathroom and saw that the bathtub faucet was running full blast. Um, he was perturbed by this because he lived alone. So this is a different case. A week later, it happened again. Only this time, it wasn't just a faucet; it was all the faucets in the house. The young man called a repairman to fix the pipes, water damage, so on. But as it turned out, the pipes were not broken. The repairman at uh, a local seemed very visibly shaken. "What's wrong?" the bachelor asked. "The woman who lived here before you," said the repairman said, "she drowned in that bathtub." The ghost drowned. They're thinking it was a ghost from that woman, I guess. So the interesting part of this story is this guy lived alone. Now, this is a totally different situation. No family, no friends, nothing. It's just him, right? Faucets wide open, and apparently the lady that lived there before him died in the bathtub because she drowned. Oh, that's fine. Enjoy your supper. Um, oh, thank you, PPR. Um, so what do y'all think? Okay, now this is a person that lives alone, right? Okay, no friends, no family, and this is one of those situations where I've heard that I've never had that happen here. I've never had it happen anywhere I've lived, but the faucet's just turning on. But I have heard so many stories of those things. And so could it be this woman that died in that bathtub? Is she turning all why would she do that? And if it is her, is she the one turning them on, or was it maybe somebody that killed this woman? Maybe his spirit or her spirit's there. I mean, there could be a lot of questions of that, you know. But this is one of those cases where this fella lived alone, right? Let's see. All right. Yep, that's a totally different story. That could be, Cheryl. It's one of those things where sometimes people don't want to move on from their homes even after they're dead, and they want you out of there too because they still believe that's their place. And maybe she died suddenly. Maybe she cardiac arrest. I mean, who knows? And she just died suddenly, and maybe she thinks she's still alive. I mean, there could be there's a lot of more questions and answers of that. But at least with that story, um, we know that he was alone. So that sounds more of a paranormal investigation that needs to be done in that house. So the other ones could be, possibly family or friends, but this one, yeah, some investigators should go in there and check that house out, right? All right. So the next one I'll get to, and these I've not really read. The first one I actually read, but the rest of them I've not read yet. So I'm reading them along with you all. And here in a minute, I'll click the link and send it to the chat, and y'all can go to this and check it out if you like. Let's see. This one's next one will be when the candles burns. Okay. Three little girls were having a sleepover one night when they decided to try to hold a seance. That's not a good idea. One of the girls, Clara, recently lost her grandpa and wanted to see if she could communicate with him. The three girls gathered some candles and a few items that belonged to her late grandfather. His watch, his cigar case, photograph of him. The girls held hands and started a seance. Again, not a good idea. Suddenly, the candles began to flicker, and the hands on the watch began to spin. Clara was sure that it was her grandpa. Elated, she began to talk to him, ask him questions. When all of a sudden, one of the candles flew as if it had been an invisible force, and it almost hit her in the head. Grandpa would never do that, she said. And she was right. It wasn't her grandpa. And whomever it was clearly did not like being disturbed. That's why it says here, that's why you should never summon demons and or summon spirits, demons, and using a Ouija board. So yeah, so those are the things you don't want to do. And I mean, yeah, we do investigations in different ways. We all do. And that's just one of those ways you don't want to do it. It just seems like those type of things with Ouija boards and candles and all those stuff seem to summon things you don't need to be summoned. Whereas if you're just trying to listen through a spirit box or a ghost tool or something like that, it seems to be a lot less crazy going on. But yeah, that was not a good idea. Let me get this link and send it into the chat there so y'all can check this out. This is good. Like I say, it's Reader's Digest, and they got some good stories here. Paste that in there. Oh, there we go. So y'all can click that and check it out. There's like 20 of them. I don't even know what we're on. I don't think they're numbered. Let's see if they're numbered. No, they're not. So I'm gonna do one more. Then I'm gonna talk about some stuff that happened this week with the investigations. Oh, you're welcome. Yep, two different things. That's how I view it. Uh, it's just we just know how the Ouija board and all that stuff works, right? And you don't want to deal with that. All right, let's see. We'll go to one more. Let me skip down a little ways. Oh, here's one. It says after hours. And again, I'm just reading these, except for the very first one I read. I'm reading these for the first time, which is why I'm stuttering a little bit because I'm making sure I get everything right. And this is called After Hours. It was 9 o'clock. Time for a store to close. Valerie, Jenny, and Kelly were the ones working. As they were cleaning up the store, a pile of shirts fell onto the floor. None of the girls had touched them. It's probably the ghost, somebody said, very funny and laughing. Uh, and Valerie replied, he's a little boy. He likes to play. Kelly still didn't take that seriously, though she thought it was more of a teasing, than anything else. But when she went into the back room to get her keys to go home, she saw the flash of a young boy in the mirror next to her. When she looked back, her keys had been placed on the floor. That's the story. It's a very short story, but it's one of those cases where what is it, like a prankster spirit that likes to joke around? It's a little boy spirit apparently. Now I don't know where this place is. I don't. It doesn't say what stores that. But who knows? I mean, it could have been a Kmart back in the day. I mean, who knows? Or just a mom and pop. But anyway, one of these girls knew that there was a spirit of a little boy who was in this place, and he likes to play and joke and kid around apparently. So this girl did not believe that until she saw it for herself. So there you go. Hey, Spotted Ghost, how are you? Glad you can make it. Um, So there's a few stories there. I think y'all will like them if you want to click that on. Just read these up. Again, uh, a few of these stories we talked about is like could have been a family or a friend that done it. These other stories have been like by themselves or a seance, or in this case, they knew of a little boy that haunted this little store or whatever. Maybe it was a big store, maybe it was a Kmart, who knows? But anyway, interesting stuff, right? You never know who is haunting a place, I guess, or who wants to throw clothes on the floor or move your keys. And that's why you should never do seances, too. Let me get a sip of water. All right. That's right. You never know. All good, Spotted Ghost. Glad you are. Um, so I want to take a break from storytelling for a few minutes, and we're going to talk about. But yeah, like I say, please go check. I'll put it in here again, just in case people might have missed it. The that Reader's Digest I was reading from. There you go. So if y'all want to check those stories out on your own time, whenever you have a minute, please do. I think you'll like them. The first story Marnie told is not. I don't think it's in that whole story. I didn't notice it. The ones I saw so far. So we got it from a different source. But anyway, it's Stingy Jack. If you want to look that story up, from Ireland. So story out of Ireland. It's real creepy too, isn't it? Okay, so I did a couple investigations so far this week. Um, did one out in the shed. Uh, decided to do the mirror and the big doll Peyton. Matter of fact, you're going to be seeing Peyton. That video's tomorrow from one I did last week. And so this week I decided to. There's a I don't know. It's something between Peyton, the big doll, and that mirror that don't sit well together or something. That's why I keep that mirror covered and facing the wall. Right now I got it covered, but I got the camera on it outside out there watching it, and I want to see if it does anything. We did have a flashlight hit out there, which was interesting because it's been kind of quiet, but the flashlight did hit. Yeah, that's a great idea, Cheryl. Um, that would be a good like Halloween party time stories, that's for sure. Um, but anyway, so I did the mirror and got some interesting things between the mirror and Peyton because Peyton was right near it. Eh, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. You'll see it when the video comes out. I'll let you know. But tomorrow's video is Peyton from last week that I did. Totally different scenario with flashlights and stuff going off, REM pods and you'll want to see it. You don't want to miss this tomorrow. And then Saturday I have a podcast coming up. So how I'm doing my podcast is I'm kind of a week ahead of my podcast. So I filmed last Friday for this Saturday's podcast. So that's kind of I'm trying to keep it a week ahead just in case something happens and I have to. Uh, I'll have plenty in store. But you're going to hear a story and the podcast. Please watch it. It'll be around 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern. And so the podcast is about the pink lady who haunts the Grove Park Inn. And she's a lady that is very friendly, that children see, some adults see. She's known to like be a little bit of a prankster. And the room, I believe, is 545. And that was a room that she was staying in. And she's known to tickle people's feet or rub their hair or whatever, things like that. So she seems to be a pretty, friendly spirit. But she fell from the fifth floor balcony to her death. This was way back in, I think it was like early 1900s. And so she's been known to haunt the hallway. So people see her all throughout the Grove Park Inn. The Grove Park Inn is a beautiful place. So if you ever come to Asheville, please go check out the Grove Park Inn. Um, and so I tell the story of that I get, right? And it's been told that her death could have been an accident, that she accidentally fell to her death, although some people think she was probably murdered. Now, in this podcast, I got you a twist. Now, I've talked about this in the past, but I'm going to give it a little bit more time in this podcast when you see it. But a friend of mine and his investigators went to the Grove Park Inn to investigate it about 20 or so years ago, 20, 22 years ago or so. What they found was, and you'll hear it in this story, was that they believe that she was murdered. And who she was murdered by was a very well known celebrity back in the day. So you'll have to see that Saturday night. I'm not going to give any more away. You'll want to see that because the twist at the end, you will not believe what they found and what I'm going to tell you in that story. So you have to tune in Saturday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 9 p.m. to know what happened in this podcast. And you don't want, like I say, you don't want to miss it. The twist is really wild at the end of that podcast. Oh, thanks, Cheryl. Yeah, it's going to be a good. And I think you all will enjoy it. Um, the story that I say at the beginning is not a very long story, but the twist to it makes it a little longer. And yeah, I was shocked when I was told. And I went on Matt's radio show 3 times, and I don't remember. I think once he may have said it on air, but all 3 times that I went to be on his radio station or radio show, we talked about it all 3 times. And unfortunately, he doesn't do the radio anymore. He does a podcast type thing now. So I still like to get with him and talk to him some more because he and I love to talk about the paranormal. So that's probably about 5 years ago when I was on his show. So it's been a while. But I had a great time doing. I love doing radio stuff. I love radio stuff. That's why I love these podcast things and live streams that we do. Yeah, you been in that room, sis? I didn't know you was in that room before. I need to go sometime. Um, but the Grove Park Inn I've been several times as a little kid, adult. I mean, now I've always known of the Pink Lady. I mean, since you're a little kid, you hear about these stories anyway, right? Kind of like Helen's Bridge. We heard them as a kid. And I've never seen anything though. I've never got the chance to see her. Although people will tell you when they're checking in and out or roaming through anywhere in the Grove Park Inn, they'll either see her a full body apparition in a pink dress or like a pink mist, or they'll get like a little touch on the ear, a little pull through the hair, or tickle on the back. I mean, it's just like she just does fun things. She's not there to hurt anybody. She's not going to. But yeah, if you ever come to Asheville, North Carolina, and you want to see a place, a lot of people like to see the Biltmore Estate, which I would highly recommend as well. But the Grove Park Inn is a place you need to go check out too. There is a parking fee, but it's not extremely bad. But you can go in there and see a very, very beautiful Grove Park Inn. Okay, so back to what I was saying about the investigations I was doing. I get off track. Um, so like I said, did the shed yesterday. Today, went to Helen's Bridge. And if you follow me on Twitter, X, whatever it is now, you saw a video I put up, talked about it a little bit. So I did 2 investigations up there. One, I did it with, like I usually do, with my camcorder, uh, the basic investigations you always see. Something I've not done in a long time, and I think Helen's Bridge is probably one of the last places I did it, was an uncut video with the Ghost Tube app that had the Ghost Box, Spirit Box thing going. And so I did that today in an uncut version. And so I'll drop the camcorder version first and then the uncut later, because it will all make sense if I do it that way. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here. Um, so when I was up there, um, several things happened. It was real weird. Um, One, I heard a foot stomp, like something stomped behind me. When I was filming with doing the uncut version with a ghost tube, I was holding the camera and just felt something like come up behind me and hit my elbow, and it about knocked the camera out of my hand. And but just before that though, I hear this little sinister laugh coming through the ghost tube, and I that was weird in itself. I did get the name Ed um multiple times. So I don't know if Ed had anything to do with this whole thing, but as I'm filming, looking kind of, how you corner the eye situation, I see what I thought is a woman standing there. And the thing is, there's a pathway, and it wouldn't be no big deal because that pathway, there's people who always walk, jog, whatever. And when I first glanced and thought I saw somebody there, I thought maybe somebody was just didn't want to disturb me or something. So as I look real good, there's nobody there at all. And for me to see an apparition or a shadow or anything like that is very, very rare. So I was really taken aback. So, today, and like I said, I hadn't been up there in about a year or close to it. And it just felt like the whole atmosphere up there was just changed completely. And I don't know why, because I've been up there in the past when I would go up there at multiple times a year. It'd be, winter, fall, spring, summer, whatever. So it wasn't like it's because of the season change or it's Halloween. Because I've been up there on Halloween night, I've been up there Halloween day, and around the time of October multiple times. So this time was just a different feel. Just did not feel the same. And people have gone up there and graffiti the place. They've done all kinds of just weird stuff, right? So I don't know if that's has something to do with it over the years or what, but it just felt like it was just a different place, like a little bit darker than usual place. I don't know how else to explain it. And I always kind of feel up there. I kind of feel at peace because I don't feel like nothing's going to harm me. Although it is haunted and it does have all kinds of, you know, things besides Helen up there. Um, it was just totally different than anything I've ever felt. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to going back up there again and see what happens. Maybe it was just the atmosphere of that of today, or if it's going to be like that from now on. Next time I go, I'll let y'all know and let you know how I felt the next time. Um, but if you go back and watch, I mean, we got several Helen's Bridge videos. It's actually the best videos I have as far as like views. People just love to see those videos of Helen's Bridge, and so I've been up there multiple times. Yeah, I always recommend that people go back to places multiple times. It makes the spirits more comfortable with you and they're more likely to communicate. So I heavily encourage, and see, a lot of people like to go to these, and there's nothing wrong with going to like Waverly and places like that. I would like to do it myself, but it if you're one and done in a place, think about it. You may not even get anything, or it might be very minimal. Whereas if you keep going back, you get used to the spirits, right? And sometimes you know who you're going to speak with, like Helen, for instance, she'll be there. And you can kind of communicate multiple times. And it makes the spirits, in my opinion, it makes the spirits more relaxed around you. It's just like meeting someone new who comes into your work. They hire somebody new, you get to know them, you talk to them a little bit, and over time, you share more, you talk more, you feel more relaxed around one another. It just that's just how it is. So I always encourage people to go back to places multiple times and do kind of like what we're doing as well is when you go back, you get a name, if you can get how they died, maybe something about them, and then if you can find a bio on them, if you can find their biography somewhere or an obituary or something. So if you get a name and it maybe I don't know, whatever you're using, you hear doctor or you get the word doctor or something, and you go back and you look in the bio and say, wow, that guy Joe, he was a doctor. He died in World War II or whatever. And you can tie those together. And that's what's an investigation is really, because if you think about it, when people do investigations, police do investigations, detectives or whatever, they have to put pieces of the puzzle together, right? And in the past, I never thought of it that way. Up until the last few years, I've never, I would like anybody else. I go investigate. Oh, I got a name. Yeah, good, and go on. Now I want to find out more, if I can find out more. There's times that you can't, and there's times that Marnie has looked, my sister, my mom, and I mean, we've all looked for some people, and it's like can't find them. And a lot of times, it's the people from the 1800s. It's a little harder to find than the 1900s. So just be prepared for that. But there's occasions you can come across things, right? You can get things. But if you just do the investigation, get a name, maybe get a death, maybe get something about them that you can piece together in something of a biography. And that's what I always say. And I'll show this again. Um, a tool that I use when I'm out um, is Find a Grave. Find a Grave. And I don't know how good you can see that. There you go. Find a Grave. Sometimes, not all the time, but if you're in a cemetery and you get a name and you're able to find that name, and there's a lot of times I'll be in a cemetery and get a name, and I'll be like 2 or 3 feet away from that headstone, right? So if I can, not all the time, but sometimes you can find their obituary or something about them, and then if you can piece those puzzle pieces together, it'll blow your mind, because then you can confirm it, right? It's hard to confirm when you don't get a biography or something and you're playing the guessing game. But when you can confirm that, yeah, Joe was a doctor, he was in World War II, this is the things you were getting through your spirit boxes or whatever, can confirm this. Wow. So there you go. That's the kind of stuff I like to watch anyway. I like the show Ghost Hunters, um, because they'll go in and do an investigation. They'll have some idea about the place they're in, and then they see what they get besides that. And so if they get certain names or certain things pop up, they can go to a historian or someone who knows about things, and they can say, "Oh yeah, that there was a person named so and so who lived there," so they can link that together. That's what I like about it. Yeah, sure, I'll do. Yeah, just try to for the find a grave. If you're in a cemetery, it works great. But if you're in another place somewhere, you might have to dig a little deeper. I do know that if you have what is it, Ancestry, there's times you can use Ancestry to find people, and so that's my sister and mom have that. So there's been times that I can't find something, or Marnie can't find something. I'll send a message to my sister, mom, and say, can you guys maybe help us figure out this person? Excuse me. So it helps for sure, um, to link things. And then, it does. And there's times you won't. There's times you won't find anything at all. Just be prepared for that. Oh, you're welcome. And I'm not saying I'm an expert or not. I don't think anybody's an expert in this field, but it's just if I can share my experiences with people that might be able to help them. Yep, good research team. That's right. Mhm. But I mean, it takes a village sometimes to find things, because I don't really have a lot of time to look for things when I'm filming. So there's times that I'll just send it off to one of them and say, or sometimes Marnie's with me. I'll say, hey, check out this or whatever. And sometimes we will. Sometimes we're successful. Sometimes we're not. And like I say, especially if it's like 1800s. a little harder. And then there's those Sanborn maps. You can use Sanborn maps, which um, I forget. So you would have to put it in the thing here, but I forget exactly how you get to those. But you can sometimes find where places used to be, and if uh, I guess let me give you a good example of that. So at the working right at the silos when I would go film there, I hadn't been there in a bit either. I need to go back. So when I go to the silos, I would get things like cupcake and chocolate. I mean, which was very like, what the hell? Why was I getting this? And yeah, Sanborn fire maps. There you go. And I would get yeah, cupcakes. I got chocolate. I got something else related to baking. And I'm like, I don't. Why am I getting these words? And I thought cupcake. Well, maybe that might be a nickname or something. But chocolate, I don't know. So, my sister pulled up that area, and right down below where the silos are at, there was the building that was there was still there, but I want to say it was like was it maybe 1940 or something like that, 50. I forget exactly what year, but there was a place down there that sold baked goods to people. They were like a wholesaler and probably did baking there as well to sell. So it didn't seem so far fetched to get cupcake and chocolate at that point because I never got it anywhere else, and I would get it there multiple times that I went. So, so yeah, like 2 or 3 times I would do an investigation. I would get those words like that, cupcake, chocolate, and I'm like, why am I getting this? And we learned that's probably why, because it wasn't, but maybe just a few steps. I mean, I'm probably about if you see our silo videos, it's just there's a big old building across the railroad track. So it's just across the railroad tracks is where it'd be. Yeah, wow, it was. Yeah, that's what I said too. I was like, oh, makes sense now. Yeah, yeah. They've torn some of those buildings down recently. I think they're going to put apartments, hotels, or some stupid there. But anyway, that's one thing I don't like about Asheville is they're tearing up our scenery. That's for sure. But anyway, but that's why I was probably getting cupcake and chocolate. I guess. Never know. But I have been going back and listening to some of our old videos when we done some spirit box stuff to see if I can piece some things together. And like today, at Helen's Bridge, I got the name Ed. I don't remember getting Ed before, but I may have. So I had to go back and listen to those videos and see. Um, but Ed, I mean, it came through multiple times. So somebody named Ed is connected to Helen's Bridge somehow. Yeah, it's still there. That one is still there. It's the ice house that was directly behind it that they tore down. Well, the ice house was already down. There was another little building between the ice house and where that bakery place was that recently got tore down. But if you go back and look at the Lambert videos I've done where I walked the Lambert, I think is how you say it. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. There was an ice house there at one time. It's all gated off now. They're fixing to do some stuff, and I won't be able to do any more videos there. But I can still at the silos as of right now. Nobody's bothering it. Yeah, they're destroying it. What do you do? It's progress. Mm-mm-mm. But anyway, so yeah, it's things like that. You like doesn't make sense, and then you go back and find that it does make sense now. So I do highly recommend that when you're doing investigations to do that. Do whatever you can to confirm. Whatever you can do to confirm. It's like I said, I used to go into places and just do law a day or whatever and got a name and oh boy, I'm out of here. Yay, we got something. Now I'm really into trying to confirm it and maybe going back and speaking to them again and just get the spirits used to you. Sometimes you can help them see the light. Sometimes they want to go to the light after think of it this way. And I've said this before too. It's when people go in freaking out for entertainment. You miss out on a lot of things when you do that. And that's why I recommend don't do that. Don't go in and do this, oh my God, stuff for entertainment unless that's all you're doing, unless you are just an entertainer and that's all you want to do. But if you want to do real deal paranormal stuff, it's like today. I didn't freak out from getting hit in the elbow. I didn't freak out hearing a footstep. I didn't freak out by seeing an apparition. I mean, I was filming one time before, and I had a camera in one hand and my phone with a ghost tool in the other, and it got knocked out of my hand. The camera or the phone did. So I've had stuff like that happen. I've had my shirt pulled, pants pulled, things like that. And I don't freak out. So if I do, I might miss something, run the spirit off. I mean, who knows? I just encourage you to stay calm as possible and just see what you can get. And when you investigate, try to confirm everything. Try to confirm everything you possibly can. Yeah. 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 Always. Yeah. Always go back. Yeah. Because, I mean, with the spirit, see, that's why I always tell you guys to comment what you hear too, by the way, when I do the spirit box, because there's some things I miss. I know when I'm editing, I'm like, dang, I missed that. I didn't know it said that. But go back and try to confirm what you might have missed. Listen for disembodied voices. I have called a few of those. They're rare. Disembodied voices are rare, but you can get them. Just have to listen. Called a shadow figure one time at Helen's Bridge. Didn't even know it till a friend of mine pointed out. Even through editing, I missed it. Of course, back when I was doing those edits, I was doing it with a different. Guess I was doing it with YouTube editor, and there was only so much I could do. And I'm not trying to make excuses. It's just back then I didn't really know all about what I was doing anyway. I was learning to edit to begin with, but now I kind of sit here and I got the small screen with the laptop here up here. I got this bigger screen, so I go back and forth, and I'm trying to you know make sure with the bigger screen. Okay, did I miss something? And then you can kind of see it a little bit better. So I've advanced myself to that at least, and trying to do it. But there's still things I miss. That's why I always ask for you guys' help, because you never know when you might hear something, see something that I totally missed being live and editing. So never know. Seen and heard a lot. Yeah, I bet, because the more we do these things, we you never know. You never know. But like I say, that's why I encourage people, don't freak out unless you're an entertainer. Don't, because you're going to already miss stuff anyway, and just freaking out for entertainment purposes, and you're trying to do a real deal investigation, you'll just miss that much more. Yes, they are a lot of performers. They are. I don't mind it if that's what they do. You know, don't tell me you're doing a real investigation and you're just performing. Yeah, don't tell. But if you come up front, I mean, if a YouTuber comes up and says, "Hey, this is strictly entertainment. If I do catch something, I might, but strictly entertainment." Okay, I respect that. I'll watch it. I know all you're doing is entertainment, and that's fine. You know, I mean, a lot of people's used to get on to professional wrestling about being fake. Well, I can tell you, it's scripted. I can tell you that I took the bumps in the ring and it hurts like hell for a week. Um, and I just did that because I had a friend of mine who owned a wrestling organization. I decided to take the bumps, but you fall on your back. Yeah, it was a week before I started feeling better. Um, but it's one of those things. If you script your stuff, let people know. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah, The spirits, if they want to communicate, they don't want you freaking out. They don't need that. Some actually, honestly, some may just have something to get off their chest, and all they want to do is tell you this, so they can move on with their life, and they can go into the afterlife and go see a light or whatever. And you're not going to get it if you're freaking out for entertainment. There's times I've helped spirits. I feel like I have helped them see the light and go on. Some of them just want to say hi. I had a sergeant in a cemetery. He just basically said hi to me, communicated a little bit, and that was it. Some just want to. They see you there, and they realize that you can communicate with them somehow. Whatever you're using, and all they want to do is have that little conversation with you. So be respectful. Be very respectful of the spirits. Nothing wrong with being stern. Don't hurt me. Don't do this. Don't do that. Being stern is fine, but being an ass to them is not a smart idea. Anyway, that's my rant. But yeah, guys, please go check out those 20 spooky stories. Like Cheryl said, it'd be good to tell stories around a campfire or whatever, Halloween parties or whatnot. They're good. They're good little stories. I like those things. So I found a few Appalachian haunts that are around here in areas. One of them would actually be the Pink Lady too, in our area. But I'm gonna be doing some of those on the podcast on Saturdays. Um, so I look for stories all the time. Yeah, I know Spotted Ghost. I know. They're always after you, man, and I see it all the time. I hate that. I know you're trying your best. Spotted Ghost, for those who don't know, creates apps. The Spirit Talker is one of them. I'll use it occasionally. Where's it at? There it is. Spirit Talker. Boop, boop. There you go. One of the ones I use. The Music Box. I kind of switch around sometimes, but he's trying. He's trying his best to find the best way to communicate with spirits. That's all we can do. Some of us, do it. Some people won't use nothing but K2s and REM pods and maybe EVP recorder. I've seen several do that. However you want to do it, do it. Um, yeah, great apps for sure. Yeah, and the thing of it is, um, everybody tries to debunk everything anyway, or say things are not real and this and that. I've gotten some interesting things come through Spotted Ghost and stuff before that makes sense of where I was at. You know, um, eh, everything is just try and see. That's all you can do. Oh, you're welcome, Spotted Ghost. I mean, it's try and see, give it a chance. If it's something that's not for you, I mean, some people might say the K2 is not for them or whatever. I've heard several people say that they don't believe in the spirit box. The SB7s and SB11s work. Whatever you want to use it. If and that's why I say when you do an investigation and whatever you get, try your best to confirm what you're getting. You know, whether it be through Spotted Ghosts app or it be through a spirit box or it be through whatever. Try to confirm those people's names, something about them, how they died. Go back and say, "Yep, this is what I got," and yeah, it matches up. That's all you can do. And I love it when people do investigations like that too. By the way, when they're um, kind of get some unexpected things they didn't know, or people lived there they didn't know that lived there, but they were getting these names, and like they go back to the historian, and the historian said, "Yeah, Joanne lived there. Yeah, there was a woman named Joanne. She died on that property." Like, it just blows her mind because they got a name Joanne the night before. So I love those style investigations more so than I do people going in and just freaking out over stuff or screaming and yelling and hollering. I'm like, I can't do that. I cannot watch those. Yeah, you got to. I mean, debunk. Oh yeah, first of all, debunk everything you can. First of all, I know I've been like I've said this story before. I've been up to Hell's Bridge and heard a bunch of noises one time. It was a squirrel. Squirrel was loud, but it was a squirrel. But I was able to debunk it. So, okay, it wasn't a spirit. It was this doggone squirrel running around over here. And I heard it today. I had a chipmunk today up there too. And squirrels, I got out of the car and I hear all this noise. I'm thinking, God, I hope that's not a bear. And so I keep hearing a ton of noise. So I kind of, before I ever start filming, I'm kind of just listening and hanging at the car just in case I need to hop back in. And come to find out, there's like 2 or 3 squirrels just running around up on this little hill making a shit ton of noise. It was crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I mean, again, um, I don't know how to explain this. There's so many people who, um, another one I use is also, and I've used it for a long time, is the Ghost Tool Blue Hand app. I'm not really sure. That's not your Spotted Ghost, I don't think. I can't remember who did that one, but I've gotten a ton of confirmations come from that, and I've been using it for like 5 years, 6 years, pretty much since we started. And anyway, so you know things you can rely on, right? Everything's trial and error until you know you can learn to trust whatever it is you're using. Yeah, I didn't think it was your Spotted Ghost, but it's one that's been around for a long time. And yeah, there you go. 2015. So it's a good source. I like that one. I highly recommend that one. Spotted Ghost ones. If you go to his thing, I think it still does this. I know it does on Android. You can just click the name on it, and it'll take you to all his apps, and you can just pick and choose what you want to try. Um, but again, it's a deal where you use things as much as you possibly can and now don't use what I'm saying is don't use it once or twice. Say, oh, this is bullshit and throw it away. Use it as many times as you can and to make sure it's not bullshit. You know, you got to do whatever you can to debunk and then know what you can trust. And I had this. I know Spotted Ghost gets a lot of hell about his apps too, but I've caught a lot of hell about the K2. And people tell me all the time, oh, it's your camera. Your camera's setting that off every time. Well, I've done a few videos and some YouTube shorts putting that camera right on top of that damn K2 and said, look, it ain't blinking. It ain't doing nothing. And when I do the K2, if I have the K2 sitting here, I'll have the phone back here. And I know if I get about right here to the K2, it's going to probably set it off. So you keep your phone back if you're whatever you're using, if you're using your phone at that time, and just keep it back. And I'll always do this, which is why I say I might miss the K2 go off. I'm looking, but I can hear words like Spotted Ghost. I can hear those words coming through. Or if I'm using the Ghost tool, I can hear it making all those beeping noises and know it's going to change soon. But you just put that camera on top of that K2 and said, hey, ain't the camera. Try again. And the funny thing is, too, when you tell people that or try to debunk them, debunk what they're trying to debunk, they don't respond to you. I have I have flashlights out in the shed. Well, usually one. Sometimes I put 2 out there. And somebody had commented on my TikTok, so I showed a video of the flashlight going off and flashing all that stuff. He said it's just a motion light. So I went out there, took the camera, said, "Look, this is a flash." I showed it right where it was at. Pulled it down. It's a flashlight. It's not motion or anything. And whoever made the comment, I forget who it was, never commented again. That was it. So a lot of them just want to be, annoying. But you can debunk the ones that's trying to debunk you. They usually leave you alone after that. Squirrels are loud. Yeah, they are loud. Um, do you have how do I find your apps? Do you have if you have Android, um, you can type in Spirit Talker. Um, let me do that. You can type in Spirit Talker and it'll pop it up. And under his name, it says Spotted Ghost right there. If you click that, it'll take you to everything. Yeah, it still does. I think it does. Yeah, all the apps below that. So it'll take you right. Now I don't know if you got Apple. I don't know much about iPhone, but Android, I know how to do it that way. iPhones, I don't. I never messed with iPhones, so I don't really know how those work. Oh, Android, yeah. Just go type in Spirit Talker, and once you get to the Spirit Talker, and it'll have the logo of. It'll look something like that on there. Um, just you can hit Spotted Ghost, the name below it, and it'll take you to everything he's got. Oh, you're welcome. What he said. Thank you, Spotted Ghost. We're here to help, aren't we? Um, how I found the Ghost Tool app was Amy from What the Paranormal years ago, and it's the same way. You just type in Ghost Tool if you want to find that one. But because I have tried some apps before that were I don't even know who you know put them up. I can even, and some are gone now. Some of the ones that me and Marty tried in the past are I can't even find them anymore. So I watched a video one time. I'm like, dang, I remember that app. I wonder where it's at. And I went to look for it, and it's gone. It's completely gone. So, but some that I would use, I tried. I was like, none of this is making sense. And I did get, I forget what app it was. It was some kind of a haunted app or something like I can't remember the name of it. And you get the same words over and over and over. You get like it was like a pattern of words you would get. So you would sit there like 15 minutes and you would get like house, car, Joe, house, car, and it just kept doing it. And I thought, well, this is bullshit. So I got rid of it. I can't remember I think that may be gone too. It was like you might get like 10 words and it would just repeat those 10 words over again in a 15-minute span. So I knew that was not legit because I'm like, is that the only words that's in this thing? But again, like I say, it's just trying them out, trial and error. See what you think. And I couldn't begin to tell you how to build an app. I don't know nothing about it, but Spotted Ghost has showed someone his things and what he does and how he does things, and um, it's good to know. That's good to know you have options, right? Um, yeah, yeah, you can usually tell pretty quick. Yeah, when you get the same words over and over and over again, yeah, you know something ain't right there. Yeah, I do. Because he's got, I mean, he's got all kinds of stuff. Now, like I say, I use this is like, well, other than my video editors and my background eraser that I use, this is pretty much, well, the video to MVP or MP3. Outside of these three here, four here, oh crap. There's this one, and this. All this right here are just stuff I edit with. All these up here are the Ghost Tube, the Ghost Tool. There's a vibrator meter. I'll show you that in a second. The Necrophonic app. And then I got Spirit Talker, Spirit Typer, and the Spirit Music Box. I've tried this Paravox 3. I hadn't done it in a long time. But this vibrate, and this is something I put it in a video recently when I was at cemetery, and basically I'm moving it. I don't know how well you can see this, so I don't know if I can get it. Okay, so there you go. And I'm moving. That's why it's making the numbers, go up and down. But if you set it on a level surface, right, and it's rare that I've had this happen, but I have had spirits make that move. It would be sitting at 0.0, and because I'm moving, it won't do that. But anyway, and then if it moves, those numbers like it's doing right there will pop up. So my sister brought me to that one and stated, "Here, you want to check that out?" Um, but it was interesting. Yeah, earthquake meter. That's pretty much what it is. And just sit on a level surface somewhere and see if they do anything to it. And I've had people say something too one time. I forget who it was, but they said when you're filming, it's almost like they do everything on command. I'm like, no, because a lot of times when I start into a place to film, I've already talked to them. I've talked to the spirits. Here's something you can talk into. Here's what you can do. You can light this up. So I kind of coach them into these things so they know what to do anyway, right? Because that's what you want to do. It's just they need to know. And if I keep putting that on my videos every single time, I'm just wasting minutes that I don't need to be wasting. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. You're right, Spotted Ghost. I mean, technology. I mean, think about it right now. I mean, you can just take your camera on your phone, which 4K, which is much better than the camcorders that I got, right? But I don't film with it much because there goes all your space, right? But and then there'll be times I'll get a phone call. You'll see that in videos like spam people be calling me or something. Anyway, but you get a phone call or something, and sometimes I use an old phone that I have to film with too, or I'll use it for the apps or whatever. And but anyway, you can. I mean, think about it. If you can take a picture with your camera phone and catch an apparition or something, I mean, yeah, these phones can be the technology in these things are crazy smart. Yeah, they're easy to carry around. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, if I'm in a place, like the Ghost Tube apps I use, you can film while the spirit boxes are running on those things. So let's say I'm out and I forgot to take my camera bag, which have happened. I can still film with this with like the spirit box and you know maybe catch something. Who knows? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, those things can be expensive. Some things are expensive. And like I say, I encourage people to use whatever they feel comfortable with. Oh, good night, Buck. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, whatever you feel comfortable with, use it. Whether it's apps. I mean, I got a bag full of tricks over here, or where my bag's over there. Anyway, I mean, I got yeah. And I didn't start that way. When me and Marnie first started, we used our phones. A lot of it was just going in and filming. Then I had a friend of mine. His name is Dave, who lent us his K2. So we would take the K2 with us. So we'd take phone, K2, do all that for a while. Oh, thank you, Buck. We'd appreciate it. Yeah, come on back. We're here Wednesday nights. And then hit that little bell. You get all my little videos. But thank you for being here. We do appreciate it. Um, and then that kind of over time, apps or we got an SB7 Spirit Box. We got a I keep doing this EVP recorder, and then we just added over time. I got the REM pods. I use flashlights, dowsing rods. There's different things that I use depending on where I'm at. Yeah, Spirit Typer. That's another good one too. Um, God, what was the other one I was going to say? I did say dowsing rods, I believe. Um, so it's whatever. I mean, I kind of when I go into places, I go into sometimes I just go in with the apps or the K2 and the camera. But I have my bag with me, so if I need to go back and get some, like, hey, maybe the dowsing rods can work here, or maybe you know, maybe I need them for something else because you can use dowsing rods if a spirit knows how to use those things, and you just got to be still with them, just let them move it. And there's a lot of times you can feel like a little vibration, and so you know they're about to move it. And when I first started using them, I was like, "Oh wow, this is this is weird," but I gotten used to it. I do like those as well. Oh, thank you, Cheryl, for being here. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, thank you. We'll be doing more of those. I'll get back out in the shed soon and do some more live streams. I think the bears are starting to hibernate. Hopefully, I get in hibernation mode. I can go out there in the dark and feel a little better about it. We'll get those dolls doing whatever they want to do. But anyway, like I was saying, just whatever you feel comfortable with using, use it. You that's about all you can do. Um, like I say, there's some people who will only use just like a few little things and that's it. That's fine. You know, give everything you can and try, but use what you feel comfortable with. But you know what? I'm starting to my voice is going away here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for the night. But I do appreciate everybody being here. The stories were fun. Marnie's story was really good. I enjoyed that. Hope you all did too. Next week is Halloween, so we'll see what we're going to do here. I don't know what we might go live Halloween night, or it might be the next night. Don't know yet. Next night would be Wednesday, I believe. But anyway, we'll see what we'll do, and we'll try that out. And I'm gonna go rest my voice. And I got, like I said, a video tomorrow coming up. And all thanks, sis. Um, video tomorrow, podcast Saturday. So, and then I'll get these videos at Helen's Bridge up soon, so y'all can check those out too. But I want to hop off here. I want to thank everybody. Spotted Ghost, thank you for popping in here and giving your expertise on your apps and stuff and things that you've done. We do appreciate all you do for the paranormal field. Really do. And yeah, go check his stuff out, guys. Please do. And I want to hop over here. Love y'all. Until next week. God bless. See you soon.